Don't go. Alright. Little squirrels around? No? No? Boo. Boo. They were hanging around earlier. Where could they be? Let's put this right here real quick. Get my shoes all put up. Shit. Yeah. Who's a goofy dog? Ugh. Man, where did those damn squirrels go? Oh, well, they're across the street over there now. Boo. And I don't have nuts for them, so can't convince them to come over here. Because evidently they don't like pine nuts. At least that's not their favorite thing. Oh my god. A little baby chickadee. Oh shit, oh shit. And a fat bumblebee too. Where'd a little chickadee go? Right there. Hi, bud. Awesome. Little dude just chilling over there. Staring me down too. That little guy's just chilling up there. Oh, little squirrel's being cute. Put this back right here, just for a second, so I can tie my shoes here. Maybe it'll come back, or she. Summer shoes. I'm gonna get some not so ankle high boots or shit. Yeah. Too big. Too big. Too much fucking lace to lace up. Ugh. Okay. Well, since there ain't no Squirrelly world, no Squirrelly, then we'll do our thing. Oh, I see one of them over there. Oh, let's see hanging out over there. Looks like they're all just kind of vibing. Little squirrels be a vibing. They be a chillin' and a vibing. Hey, Zooks. Zookov. There you go. Hey, good boy. Okay, go. Oh, I forgot my bloody speaker. I need my Bluetooth speaker. That would be important. And check out stuff to look at this morning. Do. Oh, and my charger. Freaking all sorts of stuff in here. that squirrel just taking a nap on the stump of a tree? Oh, oh, it is. She has her little eyes closed. Oh, that's cute. It's taking a nap. There we go. Oh, look at you. Look at you, doggo. Okay. Get this bullshit out of my way. Look off and oh my god, the sun. Ugh. Hey. Excuse me. No. I might as well check the mail while I'm here. Fuck it. Let's do my daily errands before we even really start anything. Just doing some errands and just wandering right outside. Oh my god, that squirrel's just still hanging out over there. Well, that squirrel ain't gonna hang out there for much longer. So Cup's probably gonna fix the squirrel out. Come here, boy. Come here. Hey, 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 dude. No, oh my god, every fucking time, man. Why do you do this? Why do you go across the fucking street and go piss at the neighbor's bush? Come on. Come on. Hey, Zukov. Come on, dude. Hey, come on. Let's go. Come on. What shit is this anyway? It's just a bunch of random bullshit. Gotta love it. Amazing. Oh, come on. Ugh. It's actually kind of a little warm in here, out here. Huh. Shit, the kiwis are, well, I mean, you can't see, but all starting to spread their leaves. These things are ridiculous, dude. These things grow like madmen. Oh, I think you can kind of start seeing a little bit of the fibers of the kiwi starting to form with this one right here. Starting to form the leaves, but these little things right there will eventually be kiwis. Those little baby golden little furball tufts. This bunch right here. There's a couple on this one. So it looks like, actually I haven't seen this part of the process. It looks like some of these leaves, well, some of them turn into leaves and some of them don't. Huh. Cool. Alright, Zooks, what are you doing? Yeah, oh what? I don't care. Doors closed. Can't get out for the other way. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And it's significantly cold in here. significantly colder. But at least I feel warmed up with that sun. Sun, vitamin D. Now I need some vitamin C, that is caffeine. Good vitamins. Well, what vitamins are in this anyway, actually, now that I'm thinking about it? Vitamin A, E, and C. So there is vitamin C in here, okay. And vitamin... never mind, I was going to say vitamin D, but there isn't any. Okay, there's vitamin C in here. Vitamin D from the sun, vitamin C with my coffee. There we go. Hi, puppy. You back from hanging out outside? This little doggo. Get this tied back. So. Go. And boom. There we go. I got this shit all tied up. And oops. There we go. Alright. Now to settle down and see what's going on today. What interesting things may be happening. What crazy shit is going on for Z News? Alright, boom. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, you, what are you doing? What's up? Man, the dog is ridiculous. The dog is so ridiculous. The doggo is so ridiculous. Anyway. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Alright. There we go. Alright. It's probably gonna be louder as shit, isn't it? Alright, hopefully it ain't. Or do what it is, yeah. If it wants to play. Come on. There we go. Alright. Let's get a ball going. 'Cause I could use one. The yawn of a brain that needs to wake up. Alright. Get this unloaded here. Oh, there we go. That's sweet. Alright. Jeez, brain. Don't be doing this. Don't be doing this, brain. We are now attempting to wake up And now you want to go back to sleep. Nope. Not having it. Man. Damn grinder. Fucking getting all stuck. There we go. Hey. Anyway, let's see what's happened for the news today. Let's see here. Oh, yep, Onion Nuggets is going to be later at 5 o'clock. Oh, so exciting. I just can't wait for that. It's been too long since we had some Onion Nuggets. And I'm a Patreon of Pessimist Productions. And released stuff last week. And I still feel like I, been neglected. So, this week's gonna be nice. Especially if all the crazy news that's gonna be discussed for later. I think I saw something about Tucker Carlson having like his little like farewell speech. Apparently, they let Tucker Carlson, I guess, be on the job just long enough so he could have a little farewell speech, and then they fired him. That's like the official like parting goodbye gift or some shit or whatever. So honestly, I kind of want to see that because I'm curious to see what Tucker has to say. Just mainly because like it's very likely that he's going to be like, this is only the start of some bigger stuff and blah blah blah. And knowing him, yeah. Go. Sweet. First bowl today. Loaded up. Sweet. Excelente. Another beats like a good first bowl today with a nice tasty coffee. Oh fuck. Son of a bitch. Ugh. Man. I hate it when, like, my nose gets so fucking runny. Man. Boo. Shit sucks. Ugh. Blech. Aragorn from goddamn Hobbit is apparently, like, black now. And everyone's freaking the fuck out over it in, you know, in the conservative side of things. Why am I not surprised? They made a Middle-earth human fictional character a black one instead of a white one. My sensibilities are no longer being represented. Bleh. Which, it's like, who cares? When it comes to, like, fictional characters. Like, I know there's, like, a big hoopla over, like, some Netflix documentary about Cleopatra or something. Where she was, I guess, like, blackwashed. Where Cleopatra was, like, depicted as a black woman when she was Macedonian/Greek. So, like, when it comes to, like, historical characters, if we're going to, like, you know, talk about a historical figure like Cleopatra or something like that, you know, then, yeah, it makes sense to at least have somebody who, you know, is at least, you know, to the likingness of that historical person. You know, so, at least when it comes to historical shit, but when it comes to, like, fiction, who gives a fuck? It's fiction. Like, Aragorn could literally be, like, a Green Man, or, like, a literal, like, someone from the Blue Man Group or some shit, and I wouldn't care. Aragorn being, like, literally like a Na'vi all blue or something. That would actually be kind of funny. Hey! Boy! What are you boofing about? Damn doggo. Damn pup. Actually, don't have any more treats for him. I'm gonna have to re-up on his treats. Well, I do have, like, some rawhide sticks, but he doesn't really, like, get into these that much. Come here, boy. Yeah. Why do you do that? Instead of coming over here, you go over there. Why? Fine, come just take the damn thing. Now you don't want it? Freak. What's fiction? What are we rants about today? I didn't watch it yet. Well, I probably won't watch it, but I saw a little thing that's like Aragorn is black now. New and surfable get woke go broke discourse or whatever the fuck. It's about Aragorn being black now apparently in the Middle Earth Lord of the Rings show movie thing that came out. I don't fucking know or care really. It just happened to be on the feed and I mentioned something about it for like 5 minutes. Well, not even that. Mainly just because, like, well, I guess it was probably like 5 minutes. Mainly because I was mentioning that, like, when it comes to, like, the character being, besties. If the actors hired to play them. The thing is, like, if a character is, like, a fictional character and shit, does it really fucking matter? And if we're talking about, like, a historical character, like, let's say we're talking about, like, I don't know, like, Al Capone, Cleopatra, fucking, I don't know, like, just any historical person, like, I mean, I'd argue that, like, there needs to be at least some sort of a likeness, you know, based off the historical figure. But when it comes to a fictional character, literally, who cares? This white guy in the movies stands to reason he'd be white in the show. Why? Just because, like, he was portrayed by a white actor in the movies, and that's how people's sensibilities, you know, think of Aragorn, or Aragorn. Kind of character was specifically written with a race in mind, which Aragorn isn't. Aragorn is not a character with his race in mind, outside of just being a human. Like, got dwarves, elves, orcs, humans, and shit like that. That's literally as far as it goes for Aragorn. Like, he could literally be like an Asian guy for all I give a shit. I was saying that he could literally be like a green man, like, you know, like one of those Star Trek Orion green aliens, or like a blue, like somebody from the Blue Man Group or something, and I wouldn't care. Just go with Tolkien's vision. And what about his vision had to make, you know, Aragorn specifically a white guy? Nothing. There's nothing about his vision that makes Aragorn white. It's just Aragorn. The Joy Stories, he wrote it. Oh, okay, oh my god. Dude, you're kind of missing the point a little bit. Like, you can infer, like, you know, whatever you want to, like, you know, out of, like, you know, what you want out of the story and shit. That's not really the point. Like, if anything, like, it's kind of, you know, that's kind of the point I'm making. Like, as long as Aragorn is still akin to the character of Aragorn from, you know, Tolkien's vision and his character of him, then, like, if Aragorn was white, black, anything else in between, but was still Aragorn and was being that character from the book, from the movies, and everything else in between, it doesn't matter to me. Justify the waist drop. Oh my god, dude. Are you about to say that, like, Lord of the Rings gone woke? Are you really about to do that now? Lore-wise? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just, you know, like, it really don't. Like, either make the, you know, or just either imagine, like, that black actor just as a white guy, or vice versa. It literally don't matter. Like, I mean, you know, it's like, I mean, for different characters, I mean, there's been different for different characters over, well, just any entertainment. Like, there's always been, like, characters, you know, where multiple actors have played a character. I mean, like, Hellraiser, for example. Like, yeah, like, I mean, there's been one dude who's predominantly played Hellraiser for pretty much the entire time, outside of a few movies, and the most recent movie. You know, so it's just like, you know, there's a very, you know, like, there's this, like, sensibility that people have in mind when it comes to the idea of what Hellraiser looks like, or what Pinhead looks like. But yet, I mean, realistically, there isn't anything that, you know, makes Pinhead, like, look a certain way. If anything, in the books, you know, Pinhead's seen as more as an androgynous female-like kind of form with a childlike voice. And in the movies, it actually takes it away from that. And the new Hellraiser movie actually goes back to the roots, you know, to what the character was written as. So, I mean, either way, it's just like characters have been, you know, changed, done up a little bit, have been reinterpreted slightly, you know, literally since humanity, since storytelling was a thing. Okay, legit doesn't make sense for him to be white in movies and black in the show. Oh my, okay, and what did he get in between the show and the movie? A reverse Michael Jackson? Well, what, you know what? Maybe he did. You know what? Fuck it. Maybe he did then. Like, you're the one who's trying to, like, make it, like, I think you're the ones just overanalyzing it. Like, if the black Aragorn is basically, as a character, no different than the white Aragorn, who cares? He's still Aragorn. I mean, oh my goodness. I don't think it really should be that big of a deal. This is what should be consistent. Okay, whatever. When it comes to a fictional character, it really doesn't really matter that much. Like, literally the only time I think it could is if, like, if a fictional character is established with something about their race in mind. Like, oh, and then this, you know, and then the strong, you know, like, warrior king, you know, with his fair, you know, ebony skin came out with his, like, long, fair mane and shit like that, or whatever the fuck. If, you know, there was, like, some description, you know, describing, like, their complexion, or, you know, like, how they look, and, like, you know, and, like, their skin tone, stuff like that, that would make sense. Because, like, okay, then this character has a very specific look and looks like a very particular way. But if it's just, like, few descriptors, like, oh, what they're wearing or their personality, and that's literally about it. Like in the books, Aragorn, you know, his race, or again, outside of just being a human, is not inferred on. Just outside that he's a human. That's it. So it's like, I mean, Aragorn, for all intents and purposes, could be any, like, literally look like anybody. Like if somebody read the books without ever seeing the movies, ever, like, I mean, there wouldn't be anything necessarily stopping that person from having, you know, Aragorn imagined in their mind as a black man, Asian man, you know, white guy, anything. You know, it's basically just because of the movies that Aragorn is established as a white character, and that's why. And it's just because of the movies, which are good movies, by the way. I'm not even dogging on the fucking movies. But I'm just saying, though, it's like, that's the main reason why there's, like, an, quote, issue over it. Is mainly because of the establishment of actors playing these characters. I mean, it's like Marvel does this all the time with superheroes. And the same conservatives who freak out about the people like Aragorn being black as shit freak the fuck out over, like, there being a bisexual Spider-Man or something like that, or like a comic series where, like, you know, there's like a gender swapped Iron Man or something. I mean, it's, and also, like, there's like She-Hulk, and I'm pretty sure there might be an Iron Woman. I wouldn't be too surprised, or at least, you know, times where women have taken up the Iron Man suit. I like my media consistent. Oh my god. Have you thought about maybe that, like, the show is, like, just a different, you know, interpretation of the broader media itself? Maybe it probably has nothing to really fucking do about the movies outside the fact that it's a part of the same fucking universe. That's about it. I mean, like, dude, it doesn't matter. Say it's a fucking alt universe. Oh my god, it literally doesn't matter. So now I have to connect to the canon. It doesn't matter! Oh my goodness! Like, when it comes to something like this, it really don't. There isn't, like, some fractional, like, break in, you know, like, the story just because, you know, character now black all of a sudden. Motherfucking plot holes. You wanna know a fucking plot hole, bro? Is a goddamn dwarf and an elf, like, falling in goddamn love. Okay? Not a white guy suddenly becoming black. Like, you know, when it comes to, like, you know, like a fucking show. Where, frankly, like, I don't even know much about. Outside of, like, the only reason why we're just basically getting into is just the virtues. Me looking at this. It's really looking at this. I haven't even watched it at all. I just happened to see it. I'm like, fuck, you know what? Fuck it. We're watching this, goddammit. You know what? Fuck it. So we ain't gonna shut up about this right now.
They hate to see a black king winning or playing because it's known. God damn, he looks good.
So you're against race mixing now? Are you? Apparently you are, because you don't like, you know, white guy being, you know, mixed around a little bit as a fictional character to become a black dude.
Too bad the writing will be trash. It's Magic the Gathering. What are you talking about? It's a card game.
Wait, is this Magic the Gathering? It says Lord of the Rings and Magic. Wait, so hold on. See? Ha! You know what? Like, oh my god, you know what? Like, how do you feel now? Because, like, dude, this isn't even based off of the fucking movies and shit. This is, like, based off of Magic and Gathering, like interpretation or something. This is like oh my god.
Because there were actual black people in lore in Lord of the Rings that have no representation. There's plenty of black cards in the set. The only black characters that I remember were pretty, like, racistly depicted. I know that there was some racist shit in the Lord of the Rings books, and then in the movie, it was like, yeah, here's the army of men who allied with the orcs and with Sauron, and it's like a bunch of, like, Arab black guys on elephants or something. That's what I remember.
It's like, no problem. Well, I mean, also, considering that they're, you know, Vosh is also not wrong when it comes to some of the more racist connotations and the lack of representation of, like, black characters in Lord of the Rings anyway. That's also kind of partly a part of it anyways. Like, because the establishment of these films and stuff kind of did have a little bit of a, you know, blend or interpretation of these things. Hey! Hey! Whoa, what the? Hey, dude! Oh! Yo, why are you barging in? Hey! Hey! Ah! That! What do you do? What the fuck? You just like barged in here, fucking like blasting away. Hey! Get over here! What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey! You had your mouth open, ready to go. No, shut up. Stop it! Goddamn.
Years ago, man. What's the point of race swapping? Why not just have original characters? Because it's a Lord of the Rings tie-in. Like, why would you pay for the licensing of the Lord of the Rings tie-in and then make original characters in the Lord of the Rings universe? That seems kind of weird.
Nerdrotic.com.
Oh my lord.
Oh, wow. I immediately know it. Oh my god, it's a Zoom call with like 20 people. Wow.
Oh my god. Why would someone like have a podcast or stream where they have like 50 people on a call-in, dude? Oh, the chaos that's probably going to be in this.
Exactly what kind of channel this is. Holy shit.
Aragorn.
Yeah.
King of Gondor.
Oh. Aragorn, King of Gondor. There we go, like right off the bat, huh? Damn. That was pretty yeah.
Wow, I barely heard it, but yeah, I did kind of hear it. It's like Kang of Condor, just like it's just like, oh, we was gangs and shit. Like, it's that meme, dude. They're doing that meme, dude. That meme is so old. Like, honestly, I just get annoyed more so than like offended by that. I'm just like, you are using a meme from like 2016 or something. It's like, shut the fuck up and create something new for a meme. I know, dude, it's so stupid. It's like, I get what they're trying to do. They're meant to be derogatory and all that shit, but like, oh my god, like, what are you, 12? Like, make up a new insult.
Straight out with it, wasn't it? Just say the N-word, dude. You know you can just...
Make that joke in high school circa 2012. Wait, it's been around longer than that? Oh my god. Holy shit, that meme has been around longer than that? I thought it was like, around like the mid-2010s, like 2015 onward when that became a big thing.
Video title didn't turn you... I genuinely, I don't think the average video that complains about SJWs in media would open with something that overt. You know what I mean? I don't think they'll normally open with like, you know, oh man. Yeah, it took like no time at all.
Hold on. Aragorn. Where is he standing behind it?
I'm not seeing Eric. Yeah, is this like a Where's Waldo?
How do people listen to this, dude? It's
like, yeah, what the fuck? Someone just randomly plopped out. It's like looking at a Where's Waldo pic or something, and everyone's like, budunts. Like someone's spamming the budunts, you know, while people are laughing like a bunch of harpy seals.
There are so many people. It's like it's uncomfortable. Like not uncomfortable. Like it's racist. It is racist. It's just too many people talking at once. Shouldn't you maximize it? Or like, sorry, like maximum 3 or 4 people? Like, why so many?
Causing more misspellings than ever. I'm not noticing it. Honestly, I feel like you have been misspelling less.
Plus sound effects?
So, who did? This is actually a form of racism, because you cannot tell me these assholes did not do this just for the reaction.
Wizards of the Coast.
I like that one. Wizards of the Coast did this because they knew that frothing retards like us would get angry over it. How dare they know exactly what our stupid brains like turn to? Like,
how dare these fucking, like, you know, motherfucking, like, you know, companies and these liberals just, like, you know, assholes just fucking tap into our anger and fucking make us mad over stupid shit because we're retarded. We're racist conservatives. We barely got brains.
blackface.
We got more, like, you know, brain fluid than brain.
Just like when you race swap somebody that is a established character, you are committing TV or film blackface.
That's true. Whatever that.
What?
Have you been against race swapping characters for no reason, like Superman, for example? So yeah, I'll explain. The difference there is that this is a tie-in deal where they got the licensing rights to a pre-existing property, meaning that there's no reason for them to create new characters. Like, if you're Marvel and you're just like doing comic runs and you want to have more black representation, I think you should make new characters rather than just like retconning or reimagining existing white characters as black, because that's just kind of weak shit, you know? But in this case, they literally paid for a licensing deal. Like, the idea of them getting Lord of the Rings licensing permission.
Should have gotten a guess
Here's my
at the
OC,
dentist.
is like,
Never turned down a free high.
Second of all, with a character like Superman has been depicted in approximately 15 squintillion comics,
Squintillion different
TV
ways.
shows, and blah, 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 blah. And we all know exactly what he looks like in our head. We have a pretty strong mental image. Aragorn has been in, like, one movie? Like, I don't think there's a canon appearance for Aragorn, right? Like, there's the movies, but then if you go back and you watch, like, the animated show for The Lord of the Rings, which I remember watching.
Wait, there's an animated show?
When I was a kid, or like The Hobbit, people look different. Wasn't there that animated thing where Aragorn was like Native American? And it was done by that guy who did like the adult cartoons later on in like New York or something? This was like back in the 1970s. Yeah, the animated Lord of the Rings.
Really?
This is a really bad image. But he's basically like...
That's Aragorn? Wow, so this even proves my point further about this. Like I even said it earlier. Like, I wouldn't care if like Aragorn was like Native American, Asian, black, or whatever. And what do you know? He's Native American looking here. I mean, I will admit he kind of looks like, you know, and more overt, kind of like I look like an old chieftain type.
American? It's really hard to find a high-res image from this. Bakshi, the Bakshi. That's Boromir on the right, by the way. Yeah, but it's like it's literally a book that people are just doing adaptations of, right? I don't really care. That animation is terrible. Here is how he is described in the book. Although the series offers very few details on Aragorn's physical appearance, we know he is tall and lean, with a shaggy head of dark hair flecked with gray, in a pale stern face, a pair of keen gray eyes. Hold on. I'm noticing something pretty woke here.
Woke.
His eyes are blue in the movie, not gray. Why the...
What the fuck? Those are not gray, those are blue. Oh my god, what is this woke bullshit?
They overwrite...
What is this woke shit? They're not gray eyes.
Adaptation. They said his eyes were gray. This is clearly blue.
Woke.
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 You see the point that I'm trying to make here? If that's the only description we have of his appearance, then going from pale-faced to dark-skinned is about as much of a difference as going from gray-eyed to blue-eyed. We're literally, like, adapting off of two sentences here.
Basically, it's pretty much the equivalent of grasping at straws, essentially.
Not to be a stickler for detail, but pale-faced doesn't necessarily mean complexion. Pale-faced can also mean that you have a gaunt or, like, unhealthy sort of ethereal tone. You can have...
Or it can even mean sickly, like someone looking pale because they might look sick.
Face as a black person. It doesn't mean that your face is white-skinned, necessarily. It can just mean that it doesn't have much color in it, much red. Pale, when we talk about people looking pale, we often mean that there's not much of a red tone in their face. Red, like flush, full of blood. That's why people look pale when they get scared. Yeah. If the book explicitly said he was white, would that change your view? Well, considering the fact that I don't think the Lord of the Rings universe is meant to...
So should we... It's just a different movie. Because, literally because of the fact that it's literally just adapting from a fucking book where there's not much, like, detail when it comes to very specific, things like complexion about, like, someone's skin tone and shit when it comes to various different characters, including Aragorn, considering that, like, having someone that's, like, a pale face and gray eyes and shit, like, I mean, it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, yes. Sure, the right would chimp out at that. Who gives a fuck? Fuck, you know, fuck them. They chimp out over Bud Light, for fuck's sake. Like, who gives a shit? Like, let them fucking chimp out. Like, I'm supposed to fucking, you know, like, cater to their feelings. Fuck them.
Like,
literally make every character as black as possible, then.
Explicitly.
As race riot people? Good. You know, fuck it then. Yeah, good. Like, you know, maybe, like, they should have, like, majority, like, you know, black people in media for, like, a year or two. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Weird. I think that if it explicitly said that he was white, changing that to him being black wouldn't still be that much different.
Because I don't want Diana God and customer. Quit being a bitch about it. Like, oh my god. Like, you're literally, like, you know, want, like, you know, a bunch of, like, weird white shit because, like, you know, of, like, you know, your own personal sensibilities because you don't want to get caught in crossfire. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. No, you're not. Like, quit fucking being, like, weirdly, like, hyper, like, you know, sensational over this. Like, because it is bullshit and retardedly ridiculous. Like, this idea that you're gonna somehow get caught in a crossfire over the fact that there's, like, a bunch of black characters in media and entertainment is retarded as fuck. Like, because, like, it's, like, these people freak the fuck out over literally every little thing, you know, and there's less and less people, you know, getting all uppity, you know, like, about that shit, you know, just outside of the few louder and louder fucks. Because they don't, you know, because most people don't give a shit about their fucking weird little triggery little snowflakey crybaby bullshit about, like, characters being black or not. It's just like, who cares? No one, you know, no one besides these weird right-wing moral freaks, you know, that want, like, a, you know, like, this weird racist shit, you know, like, you know, are gonna be chimping out over it. Fuck them. Fuck their sensibilities. Like, their opinion means nothing. Stupid shit like this. They're like, oh my god, you know how, like, do you know how many times, like, you know, people have been like, oh, the race war is gonna happen, the race war is gonna happen, and all this shit. It never does. Like, I mean, that, it's like, dude, come on. Bro.
Blue, because we're talking about a fantasy universe. Making Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. white in a historical adaptation is significant because him being black is pretty important to his historical
Get down, dog!
It's pretty important to his story. For Aragorn, though, when does this
Right, dog, back it up!
Ever?
Back it up! Everyone put their fucking hands up!
I'm a big fan of the book, but as I understand, like, there's just not an acknowledgement of real-life racial dynamics in Lord of the Rings. There are unintentional allegories, but I don't think anyone ever went up to Aragorn and was like, what's up? White boy!
What's up, white boy?
Whoa, bro! And then,
bro, white boy!
And they're like, slightly darker skin. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't know. In the movies, he's a little bit darker skin. I don't know. If anything, I feel like
yeah, because it's Alabama, where it's basically like a state that's essentially like the Klan in a nutshell. That's a backwater. Like, who cares? Fuck them. They're retarded and, you know, a minority. Like, when it comes to this fucking voice about shit. Like, I mean, who gives a fuck? Fuck them. They're retarded and they ain't gonna be doing shit besides be drinking a bunch of fucking, you know, moonshine and shit and, you know, fucking, you know, like, playing a bunch of fucking jaw harps.
They're always underground, you know? That's, yeah. Tolkien is explicitly against racial and racism too, Lil. Yeah, I mean, he was still, like, racist throughout, but like, yeah, yes. I think Tolkien was a cool guy, by the way. When I point out problems in the work with regards to, like, racism or whatever, I'm not, like, attacking the guy. He was born, like, 5 million years ago, okay? Not to mention, you guys saw that letter? Somebody wrote Tolkien basically asking if he was a Jew, and he responded with, like, I'm not, but why you asking, bro? Jews are cool. He basically wrote back with, like, the, you know, like, the 60 or 70-year-old equivalent of that. Yeah. I am not privileged to be a member of that fine people or something like that. The Nazi government did that? Oh, sorry, it wasn't a random person, it was the entire Nazi government, my bad. I mean, literally, right? Literally got a letter directly from Hitler. In the books, they're pretty explicit that there are multiple ethnicities of different races. There's like 12 hobbits. Yeah, but ethnicity and race aren't the same. And hobbits aren't a race the way black people are a race. This is, oh god, this is like the fantasy race thing, right? We have the same term for it, like we say human race. In our parlance in real life, a race is something we...
Wait. What's he doing? Oh my god. The hair tournament, the humans... And I guess the Lord explicitly says they are tribal warriors. Well, considering that when you put that like movie adaptations, that a lot of like the humans in the movies that sided with them do kind of look like Arabian slash like kind of like black like tribal warrior types and shit in a sense, with like different like Persian-esque or Middle Eastern-esque style like armor and all that type of shit. It's like there's somewhat of a bit of an inference with it. It doesn't mean that the movies themselves or the book or the author, of the books and shit are, like, is bad dude, obviously. I mean, like, he was, at least especially at the time, fairly based and shit. But again, he was like 2 million years ago, so.
Humans, and they're members of the same species. All humans are the same species. We're all Homo sapiens sapiens. Whereas, like, they're like, oh, well, orcs are a fantasy race. They're not really a fantasy race, bro. They're a fantasy species, Though in fantasy logic, and so the Coomers and the weird girls with big round glasses and mousy hair can have their fan fiction, it does seem like all fantasy races can crossbreed. We're all familiar with half orcs, half elves, half dwarves. So the mousy haired girls continue to get their fanfic material. So so however you want to.
Like that's where the hair drum come from, or the northern forests. Yeah, I'd be fine. Yeah.
All right.
Honestly, if anything, if like people who want to expand on Lord of the Rings and shit want to like create new characters and do other things with it, then why not explore those areas? Yeah.
I'll give it like a minute more.
You're not being based. You're just blackfacing characters. This is another. Absolutely.
And it's Wizards of the Coast, so what to expect? That company's lost. It's absolutely not.
Are they really trying to say that like making a character like really strongly one way or the other, when it comes to their skin color, is being quote unquote blackfaced? Like what? Would he also be Native American faced, or I guess red faced, or what would that be called without necessarily being raunchy? Like, I mean, because like I only really think of like a few that are kind of quip, like a little bit quippy, but still sound a little bad. But like either way, but the point being is like, I mean, like with the animated movie, like I mean, he looked somewhat Native American, at least in the interpretation of that character, and looked white in the movies, and in this interpretation looks black. So it's like Aragorn, at least as far as I'm concerned, canonically could be anything when it comes to being a human. In the fucking lore.
This was future landfill material.
I thought this was just the best person for the role.
That's true. People will hate this. I bet you this is going to go on to be like a super popular run.
Oh, dude, it will. Like, honestly, the more these people see, the more it just gets popular. Right? Yeah, well, like Native Americans, because, like, the derogatory term for them was considered, like, redskin and shit like that. So, yeah, like, the whole idea is supposed to be, like, like, if you're doing, like, the equivalent of blackface, towards someone's like Native American, it'd be like red, like that's what I was trying to get at. But either way, alright, they'll just like show up and leave. To be eternally consistent. Oh, it's not like they're not. Oh my god, never mind. We're not. Like, I don't want to go on about this for like hours. Like, holy shit. Anyway, here, let's look at another thing that we know we can at least not go on hours about. Here's Montana being retarded.
You disallow.
Whoa, she's going for the Matrix, dude. Holy shit, look at that. She went for the Matrix. She broke the Matrix.
Care that is accepted by every major medical association. If you disallow that care and don't allow people to have access to that,
she's kind of cute. Dude, I'm not even gonna lie, her dress is good fit. I like the patterns and I like the colors. Like, I like that. Wait, is that an apron or something? Like, is she wearing like almost like an apron dress, like over a t-shirt?
Only therapy left.
I think she is. Is that like an overalls dress or something? I like that fit. Either way, I like it.
Is either A, meaningless, or B, conversion therapy, which is torture. Intersex people exist, trans people exist, and this bill doesn't change that. At the very end of the bill, the letter that says life-altering medical procedures should wait until they are adults. What I will say is, if you are, by this bill and by what these amendments do, if you are forcing a trans child to go through puberty when they are trans, That is tantamount to torture. If you vote yes on this bill, and yes on these amendments, I hope the next time there's an invocation, when you bow your heads in prayer, you see the blood on your hands.
Damn.
You just listened to a speech from
like, why are these, like, again with my, weird well, it's not even weird, it's just my, just casual observation. Why are Democrats in, like, these, like, more red states or purple states, that are, where they're a little bit more of a smaller voice and shit, where they don't really have, where the Democratic Party doesn't have shit on lock? I mean, like, straight up, like, why are they just, like, more awesome? Why are there, like, actually, like, literally, like, snippets of them everywhere that are actually cool? And can they please get on the national level and, and like, start replacing some of these other old fucks? Because, like, goddamn, they're like, I'm liking these people, dude. These younger people in, like, the state houses and shit like that, dude, man, just give it like another 10 years or something, we're gonna start seeing a lot of these people on the national level, and holy shit, it's gonna be good.
Zephyr. She is Montana's first openly transgender lawmaker ever, and we heard her eloquently explain the dangers of their proposed ban on gender-affirming care for minors. But apparently they didn't listen because the bill passed, and Montana's Republican Governor Greg Gianforte has signaled that he will be signing it into law when it comes.
This fucking fruit shitbag fuck is still their governor? Oh my god.
Desk. And like that, Montana
letting her guard down. I don't really necessarily think so as much. There's plenty of them that are people like me that are still pretty vigilant about them. So what? You don't think, I like, don't think we're counting them out.
Another.
At least don't think I am.
That banned gender affirming.
But what? You can't, like, you're gonna, like, take the, see the W's that, do come along and be like, nah, fuck that. That's actually an L. It's like, no, I'm like, I fucking take the W's or, when they come.
Minors in a year poised to be one of the most deadly for trans people in American history. The ACLU has tracked a total of 469 anti-LGBTQ plus bills proposed in state legislatures across the country.
Well, yeah, there can. It's because you can't really have the big win unless you have small wins.
And the
you did, like in World War II, you did defeat the Nazis by, just like suddenly marching into Berlin out of nowhere.
Majority of these bills are anti-trans. And in Montana, they can't feign ignorance here. None of them can, really. But in this instance, they had an actual trans person explain to them the dangers of this bill. But not only did they refuse to listen, they punished her for speaking out. I report they punished her for what we heard her say. Vice reports GOP politicians in Montana aren't allowing the state's first openly transgender representative to speak about bills on the House floor for the...
The other one, then, it's only temporary. Oh my god. No, it's not, dude. Literally, no, it's not. Quit being obtuse. Just quit being fucking obtuse, dude.
Session after she spoke out against a bill that banned gender-affirming care for minors, saying those who voted for it would have blood on their hands. What ensued were repeated GOP-led attempts this week to...
I mean, because seriously, you're gonna really say that, Zoe Zephyr, being an openly trans person, is, like, somehow a failure, even though, like, she's basically having to fight an uphill battle the entire time here? Because literally, no, the fuck it's not. The fact that she's the first openly trans lawmaker in the country, just period, let alone in Montana, is in itself a fucking win. Because it shows the progression and the continued progress of trans acceptance and queer acceptance. Like, and that's the reason why, the fucking fascist right is pushing these fucking bills left and fucking right. Because every day, queer and trans people are being more and more accepted. And they're starting to, be into the houses and the lawmakership and shit. And that in itself is worth fucking celebrating.
The first-term representative. On Tuesday, House Majority Leader Sue Vinton called Zephyr's comments inappropriate before the deeply conservative Montana Freedom Caucus called for Zephyr's immediate censure. The caucus deliberately misgendered her in their public statement, while ironically calling for civil discourse. Efforts to block Zephyr's participation continued Thursday when she tried to debate yet another anti-trans bill, Senate Bill 458, which narrowly defines sex based on whether a person produces sperm or eggs. But instead of calling on her to speak...
Which also doesn't even make sense, because there's plenty of people who have, like, different biological sex or shit that can't do that. So that doesn't even make sense. I hate these fucking fashion motherfuckers, dude. I mean, but that's why they're, like, you know, so gun-ho and militant about it. Like, they're literally are so belligerent about it that they literally can't even make sense.
Matt Regier,
are gone. All wins can be undone by them. Well, should that be more of a reason why to continue the fucking fight, obviously, and shit, you know, despite the wins? Because that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like, every time, you know, like, you know, these victories happen, the more they want to try to fight back and, you know, take those wins away. You know, and obviously because of, you know, the wins that we're celebrating, you know, which they should, you know, like, that means that you gotta, you know, keep the fight up. Like, obviously you can't let the fucking guard down. Like, and I don't think anybody on the left broadly, you know, at least, you know, bigger voices, you know, people like Vosh, Xander, Mama and shit, you know, are doing any of that. You know, it's like, because there is genuine hope to be had, you know, but all in all, you know, like, you know, this type of shit, you know, is something that's a slow process. It doesn't just fucking happen overnight. Like this, you know, when it comes to, you know, having like the ultimate win, so to speak, you know, that takes years. That sometimes, you know, takes fucking generations even. Like, I mean, because you think this fight has been going on since, you know, we were fucking born and shit? No. This fight's been going on since, you know, our fucking parents were not even born yet. This fight's been going on for a long fucking time. Because it's a multi-generational fight. And obviously you can't, you know, just be complacent, obviously. And for a long time, people were. And now we're at a point where people aren't being complacent with it no more. And that is hope to be had. That doesn't mean that you just, like, you know, get complacent again. Because I think at this point now, people are not exactly in the mood to be like that anymore. Flooding us fuck out me. Well, maybe it's because they're being too goddamn doomer about it and don't want to actually see the, you know, genuine, like, you know, change of the tide when it comes to this type of shit. Because they're being way too fucking obtuse and Alabama rotting your fucking brain.
And ignored her when Zephyr's fellow Democrat, House Minority Leader Kim Abbott...
You're gonna have the actual fucking audacity to say, like, someone like Zan, Vosh, or Dima Mama are gonna be pacifistic when they're openly talking about how left people, you know, if they have the mental fortitude, should be, you know, encouraged to potentially have a firearm. And they talk about on their streams going shooting, like, pretty much every fucking weekend. Like, I mean, are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna have the audacity to say that people like Vosh, Demon Mama, who, again, talk about, like, going shooting every other weekend, you know, and talk about firearms and firearm ownership and responsibility all the fucking time, and talk about guns frequently on their streams, and, like, basically make, like, hour segments and shit about it. You're really gonna say that? Like, oh my god, dude. This is what I mean by being obtuse. You literally, like, you're now at this point just outright strawmanning them. Again, Alabama has essentially rotted that vein, dude.
Asked why Zephyr wasn't recognized, Regier said he had the right...
Yeah, well, guess what? Because they are.
As House Speaker,
like the Republican Party and their influence is dying out. That's the reason why they're, you know, being more loud and militant, is because they're a dying breed. They're a fucking dying animal in a fucking corner, and they're desperate.
From speaking, citing legislative rules. He also said multiple discussions with other lawmakers led to his decision. The House Rules Committee ultimately backed Regier's decision on a party line vote despite Democrat opposition. While Zephyr hasn't formally been censured yet, Regier has said he won't call on her in floor debate until she apologizes.
Oh my god, mark your words. Yeah, dude. Like, holy shit, bro. Like, again, you're being overtly ridiculously obtuse about it.
So in other words, she hurt their feelings, and they're mad. They also don't like being reminded that they're on the wrong side of history, and they are literally aiding a genocide against a vulnerable group of people on the basis of their identity. That has got to make them feel uneasy, unless they're completely sociopathic. I'm assuming most of them are, but I mean, let's be clear here. What they're doing, this is violence. This isn't ordinary bigotry that we're talking about here. When gay couples were first denied equal marriage rights, that wasn't correlated with an increase in suicidality. In this instance, however, it has been shown that gender-affirming care has a direct impact on trans youth. It decreases depression and suicidal ideation. This is true for trans adults as well. Therefore, if you block this medically necessary...
Maybe that's just because that's what you think is going on, even though that's not what is happening.
That's not just a simple denial of civil rights. It is a death sentence for some trans people. But despite that reality, they are continuing to pass these bans regardless, and they know what they're doing. And the goal is to erase trans people out of existence, either legally or by compelling them to commit suicide by denying them this life-saving
or just extrajudicially
healthcare. This is a genocide, and Zoe is right to let them know that blood will be on their hands as a result of this. But they don't care, and they've shown that they don't care. But that still doesn't make it any less true, even if they don't care. And obviously, they've got to care at least a little bit, because when that is pointed out to them, well, that's what they do. They silence her. But Zoe is not taking this lying down, and neither is her constituents, because a petition with 3,200 names, all demanding that Speaker Regier let her speak, stretched from the House all the way to the Rotunda. So, needless to say, there's been backlash here in the same way that Tennessee Republicans faced backlash after they voted to expel 2 black lawmakers. Now, she spoke more about...
Because every time, they, try to fight back, to the, rising tide of progress and shit, the more and more they, fucking get backlash and shit. Because more and more people are sick of their fucking fear-mongering and scapegoating and demonization and dehumanization of, trans folk, queer folk. And even in places like in Montana, it's people are getting sick of their shit. And the backlash is going more and more. This is if you're not gonna see the hope that there is in that, just because they're more and more militant, then I don't even know what to tell you. Because this shit is going to keep going, and they're going to get more militant, and they're going to get a lot more aggressive about it. But you can't just not be fuck yeah over the idea that people are continuously more and more people are fighting back against it. Yeah, maybe, there should be a little bit more aggression on it. I ain't gonna deny that, but, the fact that it is still happening, though, nonetheless, is a good thing. And that in itself is a W. It takes time, and it's something that, doesn't necessarily see results right off the fucking bat. You don't see it, right then. Again, this shit takes fucking time.
In an interview with Jake Tapper, and I think that what she's...
I already know Alabama's doing its own Don't Say Gay bill. So, it's not that surprising anyway in the first place.
Here is really important, because we can talk about, why it's bad that they silenced her. We can talk about the statistics and why it's necessary for people to have access to gender-affirming care, but nothing can compete with a trans person sharing her lived experience.
Dude, quit being so goddamn fucking doomer over the fact that Alabama's a goddamn brain drain and a fucking brain rotten fucking state, and it's rotten yours, dude. Seriously, Jesus fucking Christ. You're literally about to go into fucking Arizona and you're still fucking doom posting about oh my god, these Alabamians are gonna fucking get me. It's literally no, they're fucking not. Holy fucking shit.
So let's listen.
Speaker Regier has stated that he's not going to recognize me on any legislation, regardless of topic. And what I will say is I was elected on behalf of my constituents to come here and debate bills and have the hard discussions. And I will punch in on every bill that my community would want me to speak on. And what the speaker does with that is up to him.
So let's talk about what you said, because, I think the Montana Freedom Caucus is correct that you try...
Is that Glanderson Booper? No? Why does he literally sound exactly like him?
You tried to shame the legislative body. I'm not judging whether that was right or wrong, but you definitely...
That wavy... Her hair's not wavy, it's just very long and straight.
Why do you think it is tantamount to torture?
It probably, majestically flows in the wind, though.
Why do you think that lawmakers who vote against allowing trans kids or kids who identify as a different gender than the one they were assigned at birth, having puberty blockers, for example, why would that cause there to be blood on their hands?
Are you that obtuse, you fucking stuffed suit, journalistic fuckboy? Really? Oh my god, I hate these fucking, both sides in question shit.
I know as a trans person the joy and how we come alive when we are allowed to transition. And I know the pain that comes with not being able to transition.
That's where I was saying, like, Bama. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, it is, but oh my God, you really think it's like, you know, just as right as Alabama? Because it isn't. If anything, like, you know, especially within the last election, it has anything to say, you know, like Alabama, or not, fucking hell, like Arizona is a state that is, you know, one of these states that has a very major shifting tide. It's going more purple than anything at this point, and a lot of the far-right extremism is starting to get, at this point, rejected in Arizona. I mean, you still have the lawmakers that are there yet because they need to be voted out, obviously. But, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're starting to be rejected and backlash is happening against them. Again, these things take fucking time. It doesn't happen overnight.
I have lost several trans friends to suicide this year. I have had trans family members tell me, or trans Montanans and their parents tell me about suicide attempts in their family, including one trans teenager who attempted to take her life while watching a hearing on one of these anti-trans bills. That's the impact that this legislation has, and that's why I rose to defend my community and hold the Republicans accountable for their actions.
So, obviously a lot of opposition to the transgender community is rooted in ignorance and bigotry, without question. What might you say to somebody who says, look, there just isn't enough research on trans kids getting these procedures done, whether it's puberty blockers or, you know, a more severe step, such as a sex reassignment surgery. And sometimes it happens every now and then that somebody regrets it, and we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. What would your message be to that person?
Well, I would say first and foremost, we acknowledge when it comes to other procedures, any other type of medical care, we go with the recommendations of the major medical associations. And every major medical association says that gender-affirming care is important.
Which is what happens to kids after transition. Yeah, I'm not against it either.
Saving for trans people. And when it comes to people saying, well, if there's some person may regret, there may be a detransitioner down the line. You look at something like knee surgeries that have a huge 5% regret rate. The regret rate for transition is minimal. The regret rate for gender-affirming surgeries is less than 1%. This care saves lives. We know it. We know it reduces suicidality. We know the regret rate is minimal. This care is important, and my community needs access to it.
I appreciate Jake Tapper bringing her on and giving her a
Oh, that was Jake Tapper, okay.
Platform, and I'm sure that with these questions he was asking, he was just playing devil's advocate, but all of those...
I mean, it kind of was. I mean, I will admit, he did preface him that, like, obviously, you know, people who, you know, usually, you know, push these line of questionings, you know, tend to be bigoted. Like, I mean, he did... Ooh, teacher video. But, you know, like, he, you know, he at least was prefacing that, like, obviously, usually these are, like, baffling questions, but, like, you know, what would you say if someone were to, you know, say that to you? So, I mean, I'll give him that, at least. It still is, like, at least, it still kind of just felt like, ugh, just because it's just, like, you know, both sides in it almost, but, I mean... I at least kind of appreciate that he was at least trying to preface it, being like, obviously, you know, these usual line questions are kind of bullshit anyway, but, you know, either way.
Questions that he asked should have already been answered by the network, because during this unprecedented wave of attacks that we're seeing on trans people, it is incumbent on every single pundit in America to supply viewers with the objective facts about gender-affirming care. That is very, very important. It's a matter of life and death. But with that being said, Zoe proved how important it is to speak to someone with this lived experience. You can talk about statistics and studies until you're blue in the face, but hearing from a trans person and their perspective, that is crucial here. But getting back to her...
Damn, dude, she got fucking drip, bro. Dude, whenever she's wearing something, dude, it's always like some drip.
Silenced. This move comes, as I stated, weeks after Tennessee's legislature voted to expel 2 black lawmakers, but that didn't work out too well, and I guess that Montana didn't see how Tennessee's GOP had to learn the hard way that using undemocratic tactics to silence political opponents is always going to backfire, because not only are you turning these lawmakers into martyrs, but you're also shining a light on your own disgusting behavior here.
Yep.
But I don't expect that to dissuade them, because Republicans are ghouls and they will continue to do ghoulish, disgusting things, because it seems like the only purpose of this party in 2023 is to inflict as much pain and suffering on normal people as they possibly can.
And more normal people are continuously revolted, against that, and are basically at this rate are just like, nah. Even if I was kind of flip-flopping, might have voted for you or might have supported you guys, nah.
Instead, I stand in solidarity with Zoe, and I really, really appreciate her voice, because it's got to be intimidating being the only trans lawmaker in your state to speak up. But her voice is invaluable there, and I would implore other people across the country to speak up, because now is the time to not remain silent. Now is the time to speak up as loudly as possible before things get even worse in this country.
Yeah. Fair assessment, dear Mike. Here, let's check out that little TJ video. We'll let that be the last little thing we look at before I head off to work, Where did that go? Where did I see that shit? Oh, cool. It's not that long of a video either. Whoa, Teach, what's going on here?
Recently, I was asked why I'm not a feminist. This question poses an old dilemma for me. When confronted with a political or philosophical question, how should I approach it? Incrementally or radically?
Ooh.
A similar dilemma crops up when I'm asked any number of questions, but for an example, do you support Ukraine over Russia?
Ooh.
Incrementally, I do. After all, most would agree that Russia is the aggressor. Ukraine is merely trying to preserve its sovereignty. But radically, I don't believe in Ukraine. I don't believe in Russia. I don't believe they should exist. I don't value the concept of sovereignty all that much. Borders, in my opinion, should be abolished. Nation states are a mistake. Humanity should unify under one government. Or under no government, if we could ever figure that out. The problem with the incrementalist answer is that it isn't the truth, not the truth of my heart. It's akin to asking whether a murderer should kill her victims more humanely. Sure, I guess. She should kill her victims more humanely as opposed to less humanely, but more broadly, she shouldn't kill them at all. The problem with the radical answer is that it's often pragmatically useless to the asker. It's like responding to, "What do you want for dinner?" with, "I do not believe in designating meals based on chronology. Therefore, the concept of dinner I find quite laughable," Maybe it's true.
I mean, in a sense, it's like to the person, to the person asking the question, it's like, oh, well, you're just an idealist. It's like basically the pragmatism versus idealism argument.
Maybe you got a point, but your answer is
my holy
fundamentally
liege.
Useless.
The holiest of
holies
lieges. Do you work today?
Yeah.
But let's get back to feminism.
Okay, never mind.
What?
What is
it? Not a sponsor.
Oh.
Equality for women.
The MC of the MCs.
Choice for women.
Well, get him in here.
I support that.
He's can't. He's under my truck.
Oh, well,
but there are variants of feminism I can't support. There are variants of feminism like pop culture feminism, which oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, completely inane drivel. Then there are these trans, exclusionary, radical feminists, or TERFs, who, as far as I'm concerned, are merely bigots using the pretext of feminism to justify their loathing of trans people.
Which I tend to agree with that. Like, I don't even consider TERFs to be genuine feminists anyway.
There are other rad fem variants of feminism who don't preach equality, but some form of female supremacy. And these feminisms I cannot support. But let's put these fringes aside and focus on the core of feminism, equality and choices for women. Why can't I be a feminist under that banner? Well, famous bigot Matt Walsh once asked, frequently asks, "What is a woman?" Interesting, by the way, that he never asks, "Who is a woman?" Because wouldn't that be the more reasonable question? But anyway, I'll answer that one. Who is a woman? Incrementally, my answer is whoever identifies as one.
Or at least, as I'll say, Matt Walsh.
Medically, my answer
Matt Walsh is a woman.
is no one.
Whoa.
Assigning character distinctions to the sexes in the form of gender is an affront to the human spirit. Why should certain attitudes, clothing styles, bodily features, and even feelings be gatekept behind the conceptual barriers that split man as a concept from woman as a concept? I want a world where a person can be a bow hunter who loves the color pink and who works on car engines for a living and belongs to a knitting circle.
Dude, that'd be an interesting life right there. I'd be friends with that person.
What set of genitalia does that person have? I don't care. I don't think anyone should care. I can't be a feminist because ultimately I find men and women to be totalitarian concepts. I know. That's the kind of thing you expect out of the loony left.
Woohoo!
However, to show you I'm not totally divorced from reality or anything, I know that people are going to continue to identify as men and women for a very long time. That's reality, right? I can't act as if humanity is currently post-gender just because that's what I want for us. I have to deal with the reality that most people in 2023 still have gender identities. We're beginning to see a rejection of this gender imposition in the form of non-binary people, but this social movement remains in its nascent stages. And as long as there are men and women, which is to say, as long as there are people who hold to those identities, there will be men's issues and women's issues. And to exist pragmatically and ethically within the framework of this time and place, I must regard those gendered issues with a certain degree of credence regardless of my overarching belief in a post-gender world.
Damn. Damn. Whoa, Teach. Whoa. Deep shit right there.
I do this as a feminist. Nor can I do this as an MRA, nor as any label that perpetuates the very gender divisions that I ultimately seek to usurp. Supplementally, I think that both feminist and MRA philosophies have a tendency to breed animosity between the supposed masculine and the supposed feminine. Human beings tend to define themselves through animus towards an enemy class, and for many feminists, the easy answer to what's wrong with the world becomes men. And for many MRAs, the easy answer is women. I think both camps should consider, just consider now, that the system itself is the villain here. The artificial separation of human beings into these social designations based...
Oh shit, teacher, are you being a class reductionist?
Nothing genitalia is the villain.
Or at least like reductionist of like, the social, classes in this case.
I know. Human beings don't like abstract villains. They don't like conceptual villains.
Survival nonsense. Oh my god, she doesn't even know, like, what, like, she doesn't even know, bro. And I don't even mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a good thing, because I'm not able to survive in situations. Dude, I'm not gonna, like, ruck you out in the middle of nowhere of nothing, dude. I'm, like, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Never mind.
Flesh and blood villains. They can make into scapegoats. This, by the way, is perhaps our most unfortunate tendency as a species. Even with trans people, who make the case that a person can inhabit the social designation of man or woman without having the traditionally corollary genitalia, the binary is still preserved there. The division is preserved. They've merely changed the criteria from genitalia to self-identification. This is a step forward. And I respect trans identities, obviously, just as I do cis ones, but ultimately, I believe that humanity would be better suited, would be better off, if individuals were free to dress, think, feel, do, and be as they please without the need for a gender binary or any concept of gender at all. And that's why I can't call myself a feminist. It's quite simply incongruent with my position of gender abolitionism. I hope I've explained it clearly. Thanks for watching. I'm an amazing atheist. PTFO.
Hey. Damn Teej. That was some pontificating shit right now. Overall, honestly, I do actually kind of broadly tend to agree, like, because I do think that, like, you know, maybe in a less abstract sense, you know, than TJ's way, but like I do think, we ought to move forward towards like a more post like gender / like gender abolitionist, view socially, like overall. But at least in my mind, that doesn't necessarily, utterly eliminate the idea of like, identity and that type of shit. And I wouldn't really, I guess in a sense, go that far with it, but would still, because at least in my mind, the idea of like, gender abolitionists or like post-gender type of, worldview wouldn't necessarily, eliminate that outright. It would just eliminates kind of the broader importance outside of just like, this is me. Oh, little ball. You're just a little ball. Little Zukov, just a little ball.
I hate him.
What?
I hate him.
Why? What did he do?
He's making me go in this garage.
What? He doesn't want to come in here? He doesn't want to say what's up?
No, he sent me in here for something. And only I know where that's at.
Oh my god.
Huh?
And he couldn't just come in here to say what's up, despite that. What a hoe.
No, he's watching my food. That's what I want. Come on, old man. You have to have a short, little blocky piece somewhere. I love how there's a porno mag back here. And it's not my porno mag. Even though everyone thinks it's my porno mag.
Dude, I'm very sure it is, man. I feel like you're just denying it. I don't know where the fuck it came from. You're the only one I would think would have that.
Bro, for one, I don't give two rats' asses about that. If I had a porno mag, I would fess up to it, because I have no fucks given.
I feel like this is just like the one time you're like, I'm gonna troll him.
I'm not trolling you.
Oh my god. Alright, I mean, I believe you, but I mean, there's my conspiracy brain's like, you're fuck with me.
Huh?
Let me just...
God damn it.
I want to show on stream. You're in it. No.
What? Show the porno mag on screen?
No! That's the... No.
I mean, it's not even really a porno mag.
I'd like to not get banned, please.
Let's see, this is good enough.
Fucking hoe.
I think this is the best we're gonna get in this garage. It's not even really like a porn mag. It's like an exotic magazine for like advertisement of strip clubs. I fucking doubt this will get you demonetized.
I not take risks. Anyway, go on.
Plus, if it was my porn, it'd be female porn.
He said.
Cause I like,
okay.
Because I like the big dicks.
Whatever he said. No, man. I'm going to work now. Jesus Christ, the fucking debauchery absence.